Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. And today, I'm here with Charles Lancaster Sr., a legend here in Marion County, because this year we celebrated 50 years, and you actually have a barrel head here to kind of commemorate it, 50 years of Marion County Country Ham Days. And Mr. Lancaster here has been calling the parade, which is the Pigasus Parade, a big deal for our ham days for all 50 years.
50 years. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Stop to think about it.
Absolutely. So you've seen a lot over those 50 years, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've seen every tractor in 10 states, I guess, every restored tractor.
Well, it's amazing, I think, when I'm up there recording the parades and you're there, these tractors go by and you can just name off the year, model, everything about those tractors.
Well, they give me the information, but you know how it's done now. It first started out, we had a complete list, and when they were just they finally broke it into thirds and kind of helped a little bit, instead of just tractor after tractor after tractor. But the way they do it now, they have the runners, and they bring me the sheets down. They pick it up about at the Citizens Bank and run down, and so by the time they hit the stage, I've got who it is. I don't get a chance to look at it. I can tell you people's penmanship is terrible. Some of it is just terrible, and you've got to sit there on the spot and try to pick it up, and it's very difficult sometimes. So you just, it's called, as you know in the business, it's called winging it, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're good at it. 50 years of practice, right?
Exactly, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you're going to ask me what my highlights were, right, over the parades?
Yeah, well, let's first off start, so you were around 50 years ago when Marion County Country Ham Day started.
Yes.
Tell us, you were in the real estate and auction business at the time?
Sure was.
Right, and right there on Main Street? At
the time, I was partner down at the Lancaster Empowerment Agency.
Okay.
We're the May Empowerment Agency, and that's where we were. And Barbara Zink did the first parade with me. I can recall that, and we were stood on Werman's Corner at the time. That's down there where the stage is, but we were on the corner. Then we evolved into a wagon.
Okay.
And then we finally evolved into the Maker's Mark stage, which is much, much better.
Absolutely.
Much, much better.
So with the original Ham Days, so like we said, this is the 50th anniversary, 1969, we're saying is the first year for Marion County Country Ham Days. And how did it all start to begin with? Do you recall?
Basically, Ed Merritt gets the credit. He was a chamber president. He came here from Owensboro. Owensboro had a parade of some kind, and he thought we needed one. And it was an excellent idea, as it turned out. And so basically, he gets the credit, and it's well deserved. The lady we were talking about earlier, before we went on the air, said that I bought the first ad. She was selling ads, evidently. I don't remember that, but
for the event, right? In 1969.
1969, yes, sir.
And do you know how they settled on country ham?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
No
Were you a big country ham fan at the time?
Sure, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's always been something good, right?
Everybody is.
Yeah. So, so the first year, you were involved with the parade, and it wasn't near the size and scale it is now, right?
And then, things evolved, and it got bigger and bigger and better, and the ham days grew, and it's grown. The chamber people this year for the 50th celebration have done a marvelous job. They really have. And I give Greg and his committee all the kudos you can give them, because they did an excellent job.
Yeah.
And Ham Days has evolved now into a week-long celebration. And before we leave today, I'm going to give some ideas to you that I want you to take to the chamber that I think what are we going to do for the next 50 years,
That's right.
Right?
Okay. Fantastic. That sounds good. So before we get there, though, let's talk about the highlights. So you've been calling the parade for 50 years.
Yes, sir.
What do you think's been some of the highlights for you?
Well, I can think of three different parades. One was when Wallace Wilkinson was governor for Casey County, good old Casey County boy.
Yep.
And he was our MC. He was our
Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal. So he was going down. I said, Governor, when you get through with the parade, come on up on stage and let's me interview you a little bit. Well, he was up there in a jiffy, and we started firing one-liners at each other.
Okay.
Good old Casey County boy, and he was trying to one-zing me, and I was trying to one-zing him, and I hope you've got that on tape someplace.
Well, what's funny is that was before my time. That's why I've been here for 20 years, but that was before I was here. But J.T. Whitlock does have video. He flew in on a helicopter, I believe.
Okay, I don't remember.
I believe he did. And I know I have video of that J.T. Whitlock, when I bought the station from J.T., there were a few tapes that he had. And I have a tape of Mr. Wilkerson here. So I'll check and see if I have the governor, yes. Because he was governor at the time.
Yes.
And I know I have video of him here and flying in. So I'll check to see if I do actually have the parade.
Good deal. And the next one was the year in, I'm thinking, the Enterprise, this week had a complete listing of all the parades and the years and what was going on. Did you see that?
I did not. Okay.
So that was a big help, and I'm thinking this was in the late 80s when the Kentucky Railway Museum brought in engine 152 from New Haven. Were you here then when we had that, when the railroad?
No, I came in 2000.
Gosh, I go back.
I know. 50 years.
50 years. Anyway, it made 4 trips on Saturday and 4 trips on Sunday to down below St. Francis.
Okay.
And I was on that train every single trip.
Now, that was before they took the rails up then?
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. When did they do that? In the 90s?
I don't remember.
Okay. So they brought the actual locomotive and went between here and...
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it made 4 trips on Saturday and 4 trips on Sunday. And that was when the Steve Lowry had just come to town as editor of the Enterprise. And you remember the iconic picture of the St. Francis of Assisi Church? Have you seen that with the train?
Yes. Okay.
Well, I was on the train and I saw this guy up on a rock outcropping. What's going on over there? And come to find out it was him. I met him. I didn't know him at the time, but I met him later. And he was taking that picture. And
cool.
So that was a good deal. And the other third time was when yours truly was Grand Marshal. Grand Marshal. I got that Master of Ceremonies inbred in me.
Because you've been doing it 50 years.
Grand Marshal. And that was when I was Grand Marshal, and I had the Derby City Express. I know you've got that somewhere
I got that one
here.
Yeah,
all right. The Derby City Express was a railroad engine, diesel horn on it. You remember that?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I had the pleasure of all 15 of my grandchildren riding with me on the parade, and I'll never forget having them all there. And
that's great.
They were with old Peepaw, and we were just going right down the line.
Oh, cool. That's great. That's great. So there are your 3 highlights from the parade.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you were Grand Marshal, who was announcing? Were you announcing from?
My son Charlie. Right. And then after I completed the trip, I got back up on stage and took over.
Okay.
Finished it out.
Okay. So for 50 years, we have our 3 big highlights that were going on. Now, also, though, it is an outdoor festival, as we talked about before, and it was kind of a little warm this year.
Absolutely, sure was.
But do you remember it being any kind of the coldest one?
Well, I don't, Gary, it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
I mean, they all run together, but we've had rain, certainly. We've had cold weather. Somebody mentioned snow flurries one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had the whole smear of it.
Now, also, the parade, as we said, it's Springview sponsors parade currently, but it's called the Pigasus Parade.
Right.
Do you remember when that came around?
No, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But you've been calling it for a while.
I know exactly, but I don't know where it started. Pig, huh? I have no idea, Gary. I really don't.
So, when we put it on the parade, like you've been the MC, you've been calling the parade for a long time, but there's lots of people that are actually involved in getting the parade organized all along, right?
The whole community gets involved, and that's what's so good about it.
Now, you were saying the first lady that you worked with was?
Barbara Zink, Dr. Zink's wife. I can remember that. And then from that time on, Charles David Langford helped me lots of years there. He was a big help. And then the chamber people took over getting those cards to me. That was a big deal.
Right.
Because what would happen, you thought you have the complete list in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And people would jump in on the parade. And, well, who's that? And all I could say is, hey, good to see you. How are you? Nice to have you here. That kind of thing. Have no idea who they were. Lots of times.
Yeah.
You know. I'm sure you want to know about some fox paws, don't you?
That'd be great. Yeah. Did you have any?
Yeah. One I can remember, which the Derby City Truck Group from Louisville. And beautiful trucks coming down, and I was announcing there, and I said, I don't know what made me say this, but I said, I guess they'll all be going back to the dealers on Monday. Well, the parade was gotten over, and I was coming down off the stage, and here was this lady waiting for me. I'll have you know, sir, we own those pickup trucks. And they're not going back to any dealers. And I said, I am so sorry. So every year since then, every time they come in, boy, I really zing them. Oh, here they are, ladies and gentlemen, the Derby City Truck Club. But I've missed them for the last couple of years. And of course, the parade would not be what it was without Boho the Clown. You heard about him.
Yes.
He married a Marion County lady, and he was the Ham Days parade for many, many years. And then the Corsairs, of course, have been a big plus for the parade. And so we appreciate them coming down. But it's just a monumental effort to get the community together.
Absolutely. So is there anybody that you, like over the years, you've been involved emceeing it for 50 years, but I know Mr. Cox was involved for many, many years with the small engines and all that kind of stuff. Are there any people that you recall having longevity too with the parade, always in the parade?
None other than Paul Cox, of course, who was instrumental with the tractors. And
are there any particular ones that you always look forward to each year seeing?
What, tractors?
Or just, no, any entrance in the parade? When you're sitting there, you're thinking, well, this will be fun.
No, I really can't say, Gary. It's you're so busy.
Yeah.
Trying to get everybody recognized, and there's sometimes they'll speed up on you, and you've been photographing them long enough to know that sometimes you can't keep up with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, and I know one of your pet peeves too is when people kind of go into the parade, crossing the street.
Oh yes, absolutely, and somebody's going to get hurt one of these days.
Yeah, we've been fortunate.
We have been fortunate. We sure have been.
Yeah, and we're lucky too that you've been calling it for 50 years. With your great voice and you know all the different people and know what to say.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends.
So I guess sometimes too though, like when it slows down, like sometimes you said they speed up so it's hard to keep up. Sometimes it slows down.
Yes, it does.
Have you ever had that time where you've like had to stand there and try to fill the space?
Oh, not really, Gary. I can always think of something to say. always thank your sponsors.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That's always something good.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's the big deal. But so where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do we go?
Where do we go?
50 years.
We've got.
We have this. What's next?
I'm very grateful for the recognition, and I appreciate it. Now, what are we going to do for the next 50 years? And I've got some suggestions and some recommendations that I just as soon put them out right here for everybody to hear. I was planning on going to the Ham Days wrap-up meeting. I would like to see more bands on the parade. Good small college bands. And just think of all the extra Ham Days meals we could serve.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that'd be good.
And got more music in the parade, okay? There's some things going on at the same time Ham Days is going on that I think need to be addressed. One is the VFW, selling country ham breakfast on Country Ham Saturday morning. I understand they sold over 400 breakfasts. I would like to see the chamber get with those people and say, hey, we'll give you all our advertising, but change your day and let us have Ham Days.
Yes, it's not competing for the sales.
Over 400 meals, and I'm for the VFW, but why do it on Ham Days Saturday? Why can't you do it on another Saturday? And let the chamber help you sponsor your deal, and I think the chamber would do it. Another thing is Liberty has the Apple Festival, same weekend as we do, have the last weekend in September. Why can't we go to Liberty and talk with those people, the chairman of those parades and the day, and say, hey, can we work out some kind of a deal where maybe we take the last Saturday this year, you take it next year, and we'll take the first. What difference does it make? A week's difference there. How much difference should it make?
Yeah.
Any? I don't think it should.
Well, the first weekend in October is Springfield Sorghum Festival.
Of course, right. And now we're not going to do anything there, but that's why I say come back a week earlier, and we'll swap out each year. Liberty one year. All the vendors I know that try to go to both places and they can't cover them, and they have to make up they have to make a decision to go one way or the other. So what do? Let's get together with these people and say, come on, folks, let's work out something where you can have the last Saturday one year, flip a coin and see who goes first. And then once your vendors know what the deal is, they don't have to make up their mind, well, we go to Liberty, we go to Lebanon, And that's just 30 miles away. And they have a nice day, I hear. So,
well, you haven't been there in 50 years.
That's right. Absolutely. And the next thing is the vendors who are what can I say, opening up venues using the Ham Days. These are people that own property. This is where the city is going to have to come in, I'm thinking, and maybe seal off 6 blocks, say a 6-block square, and nobody has anything except chamber official functions, or where you paid a fee to have your booth, that kind of thing. But that's going to have to be done by the city. I don't think the chamber can. I don't think the chamber can do that. I think it's going to be done by the city. But it's not fair for the chamber to do all this advertising and not get the revenue from people who set up shops. They're selling fish, that kind of stuff,
Right. Various different other vendors. Yeah.
So that's, I think, things that need to be looked at and can be addressed, and there's no reason why we can't keep on trucking on.
Absolutely, for another 50 years.
Another 50 years, absolutely.
You gonna be calling it?
I'd love to be, but it'll be on tape. You can splice some tape.
Yeah. Oh, we'll edit all the videos from before.
Sure. Absolutely, you've got
Keep coming back and back.
That's right. You've got it.
Exactly. We'll have to have you in there somehow, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Good deal.
Yeah. So you're gonna be coming back with us next year, though, right? Hopefully.
If they'll have me back, certainly. Yeah, I'm ready to go. As long as I can get up and down the steps there.
And keep calling.
Keep calling.
Now, besides the parade, what other kind of aspects of Ham Days do you look forward to? Do you enjoy?
Well, just the fact that people come to Lebanon. Right now, Gary, Lebanon we're booming. People don't realize that we've got things going in Lebanon for us, and I am so proud of this community, and just want to see us continue. Our city and fiscal courts. Everybody gets along now. We're doing good. We've got good vehicles. We've got good people working. Let's keep on trucking on.
Okay. And keep it going for another 50 years. As we said, it's been 50 years of Marion County Country Ham Days.
Right.
In 2019, started off in 1969, and Mr. Lancaster here has been calling the Pigasus Parade all 50 years.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to check to see Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah.
Let's check into that.
Yeah, who's been the longest calling community parade?
Longest MC
of a community parade, yeah.
Of continuous.
Yes. So you don't book anything the last weekend in September, I guess. No vacations or anything that you've had, right?
No
Nothing's
chance.
Come up.
No chance.
Has there, over the years, do you remember anything that's like, oh, I can't do that, it's Country Ham Day? Anything that's stuck to you?
Never had an opportunity for it.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you've been here. And again, He received this barrel head from the Marion County Chamber of Commerce, commemorating the only been consistently volunteering for 50 years with Marion County Country Ham Days, a record that most likely won't be broken. And we'll see you hopefully next year. And thank you very much for talking with us today.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television.